Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? But can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Hello, everybody. Welcome inside Friday's edition of Running Point on ysnlive.com. Brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Anthony Hartwig alongside Tyler. I was like, Ty, where's that? There's
Waiting for my moment, waiting for my cue.
he wants to slide in like Chris Collinsworth. So, yeah, Friday afternoon, and it is white out there. For the second day in a row, we're snowed in, and all but two of our games are canceled tonight. So far, the only one left standing is the Wyndham Badger girls-boys doubleheader. We've already gotten the tweet from Badger High School that says the game is on tonight. Their parking lot should be cleared. The Villages Road should be cleared in Wyndham. So that one will be good to go. And that will be Matt Morrison on the call at 5:37, girls-boys doubleheader. But other than that, everything else axed because of the weather today.
Yeah, good on Matt Morrison coming up to Bomber Country to get a boys-girls double header too, and he covers Badger a lot, I believe. So I mean, coming up to the Wyndham territory, and this has been a good game, I believe in the past before. So I expect it to be a good one as of late too, because the Bombers on the boys' side at least is they've turned things around. It seems like they're getting back to the winning ways, and Badger's been a great team all season. So.
Means you get a chance to see a Baird Brothers Big Dog of the Valley nominee tonight, and Mickey Jones. He's on the list. If you want to vote, go to ysnlive.com/bigdogs and put in your vote for Mickey Jones or anyone else that you want to vote for. Unlimited, and it ends on Sunday. Did we ever get our winner? I think like on Tuesday's show, we completely spaced on seeing what the final was.
We might have, I think. I don't know. We might need to do it.
How are we gonna do this though? Okay. Because like when we had it, it was like at 175. So that's your reference.
It's not even close.
That's your reference on where you think it is now. It's taking a shot in the dark. All right, I'll go first. I'm going to say the total right now.
Oh, man. You were going right now. Jeez.
That's the only way to do it, right? Or do you
or
do you want to see where it is right now and then take the chance that we'll actually remember to check it at the end of the show?
No, I guess we should just do it right now. You're right. We're probably not.
Because we can't trust ourselves, apparently. 175 right now. Let's see. I'm going to put the total right now at 80,000. You have to give me at least 1,000 because this is like 4 days.
Yeah, but I know it's not
2,000.
It's not Friday yet. I might give you a gap because I think they're going to be a big today. I don't know if they're at 80,000 yet.
Are they going to be big today though? Like, are they? Because there's no game.
I don't know because 80,000 seems
you think kids are just sitting at home on a snow day being like, boop, 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 boop.
I usually one up you.
Can
But
you do
I
it?
don't know. 80,000 feels kind of high. I might not. I don't know if I had that much faith in them. I don't know how much of a gap I want to give you because I was thinking going 65,000, but I might do 70. I don't know if I want to give you a 15,000 gap though, at 65. I'm gonna go 70. I'm gonna only get.
All right, 70 and 80. Okay. So let's check this out. Okay, BairdBrothers.com/big dogs is the place to go, as everybody knows. And I'll just go over our nominees one time, and then we'll see where the voting total's at. So once again, your nominees for the girls are Abby McElroy of Canfield, Emily Hill from Crestview, Faith Stellato from Struthers, Sage the Triplet from Gerard, Sophia Diorio from Cardinal Mooney, and then you have Parker Hinthorn from Lisbon. For the boys, you have Drew Weir from Salem. You have Anthony Lucente from Lowville. You have Alan Underwood from Fitch. You have Eddie Stock from Wellsville, Mickey Jones from Wyndham, and then you have Nick Ryan from Warren JFK. For wrestling, you have Gavin Ponish from South Range. You have Dorian Jackson from Beaver Local. You have Hunter Andel from Garfield. You have Cameron Brazek from Louisville. You have Dom Zemko from Austintown Fitch. And you have AJ Coppersmith from Crestview. So right now, the wrestling total tie is at 24,812. I'm looking good.
Yeah, that is. That's a hard one. 24,000 already.
The boys total 13,950. That wasn't as high as I wanted it to be.
Might be all right for me now. Well, that's only 37,000 though. We might have both went over, buddy.
All right, the girls total, without further ado, 32,659. Let's see.
I think we might have both went over then.
32,659 plus 24,812
I think we both went over, didn't we?
plus what? 13,950. 71,421.
I thought it was at like 68. I thought we both went right over. About 1,000 spare I got.
Emotional damage.
I think they're gonna get up to 80,000 after today, though. I really do. Snowed in, got nothing to do, but
Dang it. I can't win this game.
I gave you a decent gap too. I gave you all the gap. Actually, I gave you everything 80,000 plus. I only gave myself a 10,000 gap.
I believed in you guys. I believed. I gave you a big number.
I was regretting not going 65,000 for a minute there because I thought it was going to be around like 62 or something. 62 to 68.
Well, the girls' poll saved you.
Girls are winning this week over
They're back on
everything.
top. Yep.
Beating wrestling again. They're like, all right, we're at wrestling. We let
All
you
right,
have
we
your
gave
fun.
you one. We gave you one. Hold on.
We'll be taking that rate back now.
Yeah, we'll be taking that right back. Some breaking news regarding the last week's Baird Brothers Big Dog of the Valley winner on the girls' side, by the way. Kylie Wilson announcing about 20 minutes ago that she has committed to Marietta College to continue her athletic and academic career. We have been flooded with so many commitments and signings. Yesterday was the signing day for football. Shauna Horo signed for Kentucky. You had Aiden Stevens signed for Yale, so many others. And then we've seen a lot of basketball players starting to commit to their new colleges as well. So congratulations to everybody.
There's a big dog luck that emanates from winning it. I mean, when you win big dogs, there's something that happens where Shauna Horo won it. He got a MVP for a tournament right after. Ended up signing. We see Stephen Mara get it. He ends up signing. I mean, look at this.
Kylie Wilson gets it. She ends up committing.
Yeah. So there's the Madden curse.
Right.
There's the YSN big dog. There's luck that comes with it.
Can we make it 3 weeks in a row that someone that wins big dogs gets a big milestone moment?
Something's going to happen. Something's got to happen. Whoever wins big dog, something big's happening then.
Wow.
So that's the trend. It's at least is what it seems like.
Today we're going to pick the 2 games tonight, Badger and Wyndham, but we're also going to pick Saturday's games too. There might be some games that have been pushed to Saturday. I feel like some of the games tonight might just be like, boop, right to Saturday.
Yeah, we're gonna have probably a bunch of games tomorrow. Honestly,
Stick with us. Stick with us.
it's
We're
gonna
trying.
be all over the place, honestly, and we're gonna have so many games that are gonna be going on in the area.
Right now, tomorrow, I don't think anything has been officially moved, but we do have. I think actually they've already announced the Louisville doubleheader that was scheduled for tonight is going to be tomorrow. So now the girls can't play Dalton because they have to play Northwest, and it'll be a boys-girls doubleheader tomorrow at Louisville. That's already been established. Hubbard at South Range has been moved to tomorrow for the boys. That's at 7 o'clock. Is this supposed to be today? I think Lisbon at Wellsville has been moved to tomorrow as well. Struthers at Jefferson got moved, but now it's right on our schedule, so it must have been pushed back even further. Everything else on our schedule was already scheduled for that day. So right now, the only games that have been pushed to tomorrow from today, and this is right now, it's going to be an ongoing thing. You have, what did I already say? Oh, Louisville boys girls doubleheader against Northwest. I'm losing it, Ty. I swear.
I already say.
Hubbard at South Range has been moved from tonight to tomorrow. That'll be a 7 o'clock tip. You have, and then Lisbon and Wellsville moved to tomorrow. That's a 7 o'clock tip.
So some big matchups too. That Lisbon-Wellsville one's going to be a fun one. Lisbon getting the first one.
And upset city, and now Wellsville is going to try to upset the. It's not an upset, but avenge the loss.
Yeah, let me check. I want to check real quick that
Camel boys have been moved to tomorrow. That is a 1:30 JV start at Crestview, so the varsity will start on 2:45 for the boys game between Camel and Crestview. You have boys basketball game with Newton Falls for Garfield. It has been moved to Saturday the 12th. JV will begin at 5:30, so that's one we can confirm. Still looking. Were you looking on something? I was trying to give you some space.
Yeah, I'm looking at the EOAC standings. I'm trying to get those pulled up. So as of right now, Wellsville's leading it, and Valley Christian's right behind with 3 losses. Columbiana has 3.
Salem and Carrollton boys game has been rescheduled for Saturday, February 12th. That'll be a 5:37 JV varsity tip. The McDonald and Reserve doubleheader has been moved to tomorrow. Girls will be at 5:30, boys at 7. So that's twice that's been moved now. Just keep pushing it back.
Now we're going to have another doubleheader tomorrow. A lot of doubleheaders tomorrow. We seeing any other games postponed?
I'm
trying to sift through it.
I'm anxiously scrolling through Twitter.
There's a lot of games we're trying to sift through right now.
Boardman has made up their date against Canfield. That'll be Saturday, February 19th. They've not released a time for that, but they're going to play in 2 weeks for Boardman Canfield.
Boys,
they were scheduled for tonight. Minerva and West
Branch.
Branch.
I'm like, that is like in the playoffs. upset. I was like, how are you doing that in the tournament?
Minerva and West Branch boys has been postponed, and they have not made up a date yet, so we have to wait on that one.
Gotta wait for.
By the way, tomorrow's Louisville boys girls doubleheader will be the 5:37. That time has been announced. So 5:30 girls, 7 o'clock boys for Louisville and Northwest. I haven't seen Poland Gerard yet. Let me see if they can. This Poland Gerard will be Poland Ed Gerard boys basketball playing on a Monday night. They're moving to Monday.
Ooh.
So that they'll start to invade girls' night as they'll play Ed Gerard on Monday, Poland and Gerard boys basketball.
When you have the amount of snow that we've had, though, and in Ohio, we always expect the end of the season to get a little wonky. Girls are going to invade boys' nights. Boys are going to invade girls' nights as far as basketball is concerned. So a nice Monday matchup now we're going to be seeing on the boys' side.
Still looking. I think I've hit all of them. Lowville doesn't have a makeup date yet for Sebring. Oh, I think we're good. Valley Christian. Oh, got one. Valley Christian. They were supposed to play tomorrow. The girls were supposed to play tomorrow. The Valley Christian has already postponed that and moved that game to the 12th. So the girls' Valley Christian game tomorrow postponed until the 12th. Hey, you know what? Now we can also say that Zeta Creaky officially broke the Fitch 3-point record in a season. We've been waiting to confirm that. It is absolutely, without doubt, confirmed. The old record was 54. She is sitting at 64 right now. So apologies for taking the time to confirm that, but now we can indeed confirm.
Want to make sure we had the correct numbers for everything. But yeah, 54, the official new record now at 64 and counting in a single season over at Fitch.
Look at DJ's so excited that we actually get a game tonight, though. All caps are on. Let's go.
We're excited for it too. As I mean, like I said, that Wyndham Badger boys matchup should be fun. Badger girls should be nice too. Yeah, Matt Morrison.
You're double duty today.
Bomber country. Gonna have.
You're about to see him. You're about to see him in about an hour and a half in the Casual Sports Podcast, and then you'll be able to see him tonight at Wyndham in Bomber Country,
taking care of the Badger Braves and the Wyndham Bombers on both sides too. So gonna have like DJ said, a big spotlight on him tonight. He's the only one featured on the network, and that's the game both schools have confirmed is on right now as of 12 o'clock. So we know anything could change in a given minute, but hopefully it stays on too, because I want something to tune into tonight on the network.
We got you something. We got you something. You know, you asked and you received. We just went through all the games that have announced a makeup date. There are some games that are being pushed to tomorrow, some game being pushed to next Saturday, the 12th. We've seen a game be moved to Monday. That's Poland at Gerard boys. That'll be played on Monday. And then there was maybe one or two games that got pushed all the way back to 2 Saturdays from now, the 19th.
A lot of games that are just moving around too, and these are all games that are going to be occurring in the thick of the girls tournament and right before the boys tournament too. So it's going to get really crazy with the amount of basketball that's going to be around.
All right, Ty, so we don't have local results to talk about. Well, local high school results to talk about, but the YSU women were in action last night, and since we don't always get the chance to talk about them, but we've had a player and we've had Coach Barnes on the show. They lost in double overtime to Green Bay, 70-69. Heartbreaking fashion. In the end of regulation, the end of first overtime, and the end of second overtime, YSU had the ball with a chance to win. And they could not do it. Of course, in the second overtime, they were down by 1. So instead of being tied, they had to win or lose on their last possession. But that's tough. 3 straight times and you have the ball with a chance to win the game, and 3 straight times you were just unable to put a ball in the hoop.
Sometimes it happens though too, and most coaches in the area will tell you too. Local coaches, high school, college, doesn't matter. There's just those nights too where it seems like in the worst moments there's a lid on the bucket and you can't get anything to fall, and it seems like that's the case for YSU women's in that one. And like you said, it's a heartbreaker having that many opportunities to get it done, but just one of those nights too where it just couldn't fall, and there was a lid on the bucket.
Lily Ritz led the Penguins with 19 points, 8 rebounds. She is 4th right now in the Horizon League in scoring, by the way. The transfer has worked out great for the Penguins. You'll look at some of the stats. The Penguins were 9 for 11 for the free throw line, but Green Bay got there almost 2 times as many times. And they shot just as well. And actually, the Phoenix scored the final 6 points of the second overtime, and they made 2 free throws with 9.5 seconds to go to win it. So free throws became very, very important. And I don't care what level of basketball you're on, whether it be Division I, Power 5, NBA, WNBA, whatever it is. Free throws win basketball games. And there it is right there. And not just free throws, because the Penguins shot well from the free throw line, but also getting to the free throw line can win you basketball games. Obviously, the Phoenix did that really well, and the Penguins just couldn't get there enough.
Yeah, and I mean, when you can make up offense at the free throw line, I mean, it makes things a lot easier too when you're getting almost a third of your scoring at the stripe too. I mean, it helps out tremendously on offense, even if you're not having the best night shooting. Going to the stripe will definitely make things a lot easier than in trying to win ball games. You could just have a good defensive night then.
Here's a real fun story though. I was on the couch watching the game, and I'm watching. I'm kind of like doing that thing where you're doing something else while the game audio's on, and it was a great broadcast by Green Bay, so props to them. But I'm listening, and all of a sudden I hear Hartwig, and I'm like, what? So I'm like, I'm hearing things. I wasn't really watching it intently. Okay. So then I hear it again, and I go, there's no way. Green Bay has a Hartwig on the team.
They're calling you out, Anthony.
I had to do some research. I reached out. I'm going to see if I'm related to her in any way. I don't think I am, but Hartwig is such a unique name. You don't really see a lot of Hartwigs floating around. But Julia Hartwig for Green Bay. Shout out.
Green Bay Phoenix.
By the way, one of
it's so weird. What a weird name. I mean, I like the name Phoenix, but it's just so weird to say after another city name because it just sounds like you're doubling up on city names. The Green Bay Phoenix. It just sounds like you're just doubling up on cities.
That's why they're one of the only, I think, 7 teams in Division I college sports that don't end in an S.
Yeah, because there's not many in pro sports. There's 2 in baseball.
I always ask this question, and I think I have all of them. Syracuse is one because they're the orange. Tulane Green Wave, there's one.
Yeah.
Notre Dame Fighting Irish. NC State Wolfpack, no S. Stanford Cardinal, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's just Cardinal. Yeah,
it's just Cardinal because it's not it's not a bird. It's the tree, cardinal tree. There's one more. North Texas, the Fighting Green or the Mean Green or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
North Texas Mean Green.
Yep, and then pro baseball has both Sox, and then the X and not the CKS. And basketball has 4.
Basketball has 4.
Heat, Magic, Thunder.
Heat, Magic. What? There goes my guessing game.
I was guessing. Well, go on.
Heat, Magic, Thunder. There's 3.
NFL has nothing. Has none.
NFL has none. They're boring.
NFL is all S's.
Jazz.
Yeah.
Utah Jazz.
Yes, sir. I think it's unique when you can't. If you could get a name that doesn't end in an S. Some of these teams do have unique names, and we've talked about like local teams that are pretty unique. I love the Bombers name, by the way.
Bombers. I love their logo, to be honest.
I like the way that whole gym is set up. I think the way that table too, where they set you up, is like perfect.
They need a table that's like. Have you seen those? They make them where they take like plain parts and make a coffee table out of them.
Oh my goodness, that's the
Set you
table
up-
we need to have.
You're sitting in like a giant wing.
That'd be awesome too. Have a disco ball that's just like an old school, like there's one of the black bombs. That is just that'd be really cool too. The intro sequences that they do it there are really cool as well. I like the whole setup that they have in Wyndham.
They should have like the bomb sirens going off like.
They do something like that. They did like a siren for the intros. The one time I was there, it was really cool.
Seek shelter immediately.
It's a cool name to have though.
We are active. By the way, we just got word. We are actively trying to get Kylie Wilson on the show today. I sent her the link. She said if she gets time, she'll stop in. So today's kind of a wild day. So we're not going to say a time. We're not going to. But you know, you might just see Kylie Wilson pop in.
You never know who will stop in on Running Point. We do have games that we'll have to pick tomorrow. We'll have to talk about the Badger and Wyndham games.
Yeah, we're going to pick those. We might just sneak ahead and talk about what matchups are also coming along on Monday too. I mean, yesterday we went 2 days ahead. We might as well just go 2 days ahead today, since there are no games to talk about tonight.
The way the schedule is going to be really wonky. So I mean, hey, let's talk. We could talk basketball games in the future too. We know there's games coming up before the end of the season. There's some conferences too that are going to be on the line down the stretch. We talked AAC with Howland and Canfield on the girls' side, but there's still a few other conferences that are up in the air right now.
Yeah, there are, and really the only ones that are like locked down really are in girls. The EOAC United is undefeated. Pretty sure they have a matchup.
United is just like, wait, this is ours. Nobody else is taking this.
Don't want to lead out the YSU men. They got the win over IUPUI last night, 61-55. So one of the few nights where both teams were in action. Both teams were on the road as well. You look at their leading scores. 4 players got into double figures for the Penguins. Let's see. They were led by Dwayne Cohill with 14. Michael Akuche got 10 rebounds, and Cohill also had 3 assists to lead Youngstown State. They shot 40.8% from the field, 29 rebounds to the Penguins, 34 to IUPUI. So to get this, Penguins won, but the Jaguars had a better shooting percentage, more rebounds, just as many assists. But the big difference, the Penguins forced 17 turnovers and got 16 points off of those turnovers. And the Jaguars only forced 10 turnovers and then only got 2 points off of the Penguins' turnovers. So ball security became a big factor in the YSU men's game last night.
That's a good transition defense then too. Even off of steals by the YSU men's to get back and not allow buckets off of turnovers too. And that's short-term memory of getting immediately back on defense, not letting turnovers affect you. And that's ways to win ball games too.
It also speaks to the importance of not having live ball turnovers. You know, at least if you throw the ball out of bounds or if you travel or whatever it may be, ball stops and you have a chance to set up a defense and you don't give it easy layup.
Yeah, true. And I mean, that seems to be the case too, though, that the YSU men's were able to get a lot of live ball turnovers to get those transition buckets last night.
So YSU men get the win. The women fall in double overtime in a heartbreaker at Green Bay. Horizon League standings are kind of wonky now because now there, I believe, 3 or 4 teams with 3 losses in the conference, including YSU. So
we could. I mean, yeah, looking at YSU too. I mean, there's all kinds of wonkiness going on.
We
there.
talk about the conferences in high school. I mean, now YSU, the women are in the dogfight for first place in the Horizon League. They had control over it, but now losses to Green Bay and then last week another Horizon League loss. All of a sudden, they're sitting in a spot where they never thought they'd be in a dogfight for the conference title.
This is where Champions are made, though, and this is where you got to put your head down and just say, this is ours. We've had control of it before. We need to get out there and take it.
They'll play in Milwaukee tomorrow, trying to bounce back from that loss at Green Bay to finish their Wisconsin road trip. And I wonder if Wisconsin is dealing with worse weather than we are, because usually they get hammered by snow.
Absolutely. Up in that area, it's always they're more north than us. That's insane.
Sometimes if it's crazy, you'll look and you'll be like, it's warmer in Alaska than it is here.
That is odd when that happens.
Huh.
What happened? Looking at the EOAC too, because I wanted to pull up their stand. That is another conference too on the boys' side. Wellsville is leading it right now, 8-2. Lisbon not really in a position to get it with 6-5 in the conference. But what's interesting is both Columbiana and Valley Christian only 3 losses, 8-3 Valley Christian, 7-3 Columbiana. And Wellsville still has a matchup with Valley Christian on February 15th. So that one's still up in the air right now. Lisbon, if they pull off the upset again, can make things really interesting because that game could mean the EOAC title on the line. And of course, Bug Thompson, Dolph Carroll.
That game once again will be tomorrow night now instead of tonight. They've already rescheduled that one.
But that's an interesting one to look at as well. What does Columbiana's remaining schedule look like? That's an interesting one with them being 7-3 as well. Can they control their own destiny in any form? Let's see. Because I don't know if they have another matchup with Wellsville or not. Play United. That's going to be a good one. Or they played United, rather. East Palestine. Yeah, they do. They have Wellsville on Thursday, the 10th. So
boys game on Thursday. Get crazy. Yep. Why not?
Getting real crazy with it. But hey, Wellsville still has some big games. Even after Lisbon, who's already beat them this year, they have to still go through Columbiana and still go through Valley Christian. Both of them with 3 losses, only 1 loss back of Wellsville. Both can control their own destiny in this conference. The boys' side of the EOAC is getting real fun, though, towards the end of the season.
You thought it was crazy, and it was.
I mean, we've had a couple conferences get locked up a little bit early, but there's still plenty that are up in the air right now that there's plenty of teams that can control their own destiny.
Almost all of them. I mean, the MVAC Scarlet here on both sides. Well, actually, I think Springfield kind of has a whole lot. But on the girls' side, it's Waterloo has a commanding lead, but they still got to take care of business against Springfield.
Yeah, it's still a little bit open on that. The gray side is really, I mean, it's Liberty and Camel on the boys for the gray tier, and then the girls' side is just it's a
Liberty and I believe Champions, the team that still has a shot. I think
I can look that up real
quick. They have 2 league losses and then 1 more game with Liberty coming up.
I'll double check that just to have that pulled up too, because I mean, I know tournament time's coming up, and I know that's going to consume a lot of our attention, but I still love the conference battles, and I still love declaring conference champions too. And I think with a lot of these conferences being wide open, it's still a fun thing to look at a couple weeks before tournament time. And I think these games are meaningful because there's a lot of meaningful conference games in the time frame in between.
We can't forget about tomorrow either. I mean, that's AAC on the line on the girls' side with Howland at Canfield and Howland.
Yeah, I mean, that one's going to be a fun one, absolutely, and that's going to be decided as well. Looking at the standings, let me pull it up. Yeah, champion only with 2 losses in the gray tier, and then of course Garfield has 3, Brookfield has 3. But they would need a little bit of help, I think, the rest of the way with
neither one of those teams play Liberty again.
Yeah, so
Champions really it. Champions there, and they're the last team with a chance.
How about
now? What hurts Champion is that overtime loss to Garfield, because they win that game, then that Liberty matchup is literally an AAC championship game.
Yeah, quite literally. And there's only 2 conference games too. They play Memorial and they play Champion, and that's it for Liberty.
So really, if now that Champion did lose that game to Garfield in overtime, it's Champion wins for a share, but Liberty's already locked it up. I mean, when they win against Camel, it'll be they've clinched a share of the MVAC, at least a share, and then of course the champion, if they were able to beat champion, that would be outright MVAC.
I'm gonna get Anthony a little set of red devil horns if Camel pulls off the upset against
Dude,
Liberty Girls.
I'm sitting. Let me see. I said remember at the beginning of the year, I said Camel would have 5 wins, and that would be big for their program. I think they have 3.
I think so too.
But everyone looked at me crazy, like Camel's not going to win a game this year. I saw them the first game. I said they're going to win. They're going to win some games.
They did win some games, and you know what? They were in a tough conference, though, too.
Well, yeah.
I mean, when you have to play Brookfield twice, Champion twice, Garfield twice, Liberty twice, like, I mean, that's 8 games a year schedule right there that are going to be dogfight games, not to count out teams like your LeBrays that you're going to have to play twice as well. Newton Falls push over.
Camel was 3-15, and they have a game with Liberty that was originally scheduled for last night. Obviously, it's been moved. They have a game scheduled against Niles. That's a winnable game on the 10th. So they could get – I'd be close. They could get 4 wins. The first matchup with Niles – no, they haven't played Niles. Excuse me. I thought I saw Niles on there. No. So Niles is a pretty comparable team. They can win that game.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams, too, trying to build their program. And, I mean –
we saw Wellsville get the most wins in their program since 2015 this year.
And, I mean, we've seen complete turnarounds, too, with kids that wanted to go back to teams like Camel Memorial on the boys' side. They wanted to go back home. They wanted to go back to that family atmosphere of where it all started. Camel boys, comparative to last year to this year, have made a complete turnaround. And I mean, that's just a mark of a good program that makes people want to come back and want to participate. But other teams too, like that I've even covered, Austintown Fitch girls went from 5 wins last year, 5-14, to 12 wins this year. And I mean, still with potential to win more. That's a fantastic turnaround this season. Waterloo girls too. I mean, they were good last year, but they're great this year. I mean, there's a lot of teams that in 1 year can flip an entire program around too. Just getting those kids developed too, and getting good foundations as far as program bricks are concerned too.
And I think the moral is don't scoff at little baby steps in a program either. A lot of people are going to see Wellsville and say, why are you celebrating 4 wins? Well, when it's the most wins you've had in 5 years as a program, then you celebrate the baby steps, because baby steps lead to bigger steps down the road as a program. So you can scoff at 4 wins at Wellsville, but when Wellsville has been winless, they've had winless seasons, then you can celebrate 4 wins, in my opinion.
And the biggest thing people always look at 7th and 8th grader turnover to the high school level too, is what's that turnover ratio? How many are participating at the younger level too? Because that's how programs can succeed. And it's not just a good year or a good 2 years. It's good programs because there's just constant talent feeding into it.
All right, constant talent feeding into it for sure. And I think young kids watch, dude. Don't take away the ability for young kids to realize when a program is on the rise and get excited about that program, want to work harder, especially your 8th graders. They're smart enough to realize, hey, this program's got something in the making. I'm going to go work hard and try to be a part of that program. And they can sense the other side too.
I want to talk about something impressive. How about the fact that Austintown Fitch has had in their basketball program, which has been a good program, I'll say, but in the last few years, about just the uptick of it, they've had now a new leading scorer all time too, in both boys and girls in the last 5 years, and Sabria Hunter for the girls' side and Todd Simons for the boys' side, all-time scorers. And these were records that stood for years too. And now you got girls like Zeta Creaky, who's on pace to get 1,000 by senior year and already is breaking 3-point records. And it's crazy how basketball has had these upticks. Jackie Grisdale over in Poland, we've seen take the all-time record too. I mean, the level
She's
of
already
talent,
making an impact as a freshman at Quinnipiac too.
Yeah, I mean, when all the basketball talent is on the rise in the area, and I think it's about time everyone starts to notice it too, because we see these games every single night, and new stars and new names have already emerged this season that we know we're going to be talking about for the next couple.
We're going to be talking about for the next couple, maybe an hour and a half, hour, 15 minutes too. But first, we're going to take our first break of the day and be back with more on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends: shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, shop with confidence knowing we're ready to go the extra mile for you. With the largest selection of used vehicles in the Valley, backed by the Greenwood Advantage Warranty. Every one of our vehicles has undergone our own 126-point inspection, so it passes the most important inspection, yours. No other dealership has the extra inventory, gives you extra for your trade, and goes the extra mile for you. Only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
For a great vehicle and a great experience, come to Boardman Mitsubishi today. As always, our full lineup of Mitsubishi models comes with a standard 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Boardman Mitsubishi, your hometown Mitsubishi dealer since 1999.
Coca's Pizza, always supporting our community and our local athletes. Stop in on game day or score big and have it delivered right to your door. Check out our daily specials at cocaspizza.com. That's Coca's Pizza, we serve it hot.
At Hubbard Chevrolet, Hubbard can help you get the financing you need regardless of your situation. I'm Tony Page, and I've helped thousands of customers in Northeast Ohio and Western Pennsylvania buy a vehicle. Visit HubbardChevy.com to get pre-approved. Remember, folks, Hubbard can help.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University and proud.
Welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town. Anthony Hartwig alongside Ty Bartell. Nice timing. Boom, right there. He's getting good at it. He's getting good at that. And I've gone about an hour actually 45 minutes without unmuting myself.
Yeah, you're doing a good job. You're getting better at it. You're getting better at it. Speaking of which, though, I mean, we're talking about conferences that are wide open, Anthony. Let's flat out put it. If you got to pick between Columbiana, Wellsville, Valley Christian taking this EOAC, it's a dogfight. All three are in the running. From what you've seen on the network and what you've seen around, who are you taking? Or who are you most confident that can take this conference down the stretch? They all got to play each other. Well, at least Wellsville's got to play both Valley Christian and Columbiana one time.
I'm more confident in Wellsville. I think they have the best offense out of those three teams. They have more ways to hurt you, more ways to score. And I think they're just a little bit more dynamic basketball team than the other two. So
Wellsville won the conference last year, if I'm not
they
mistaken.
shared, I believe. And that was a crazy year last year.
Yeah, I know the games are all wonky, but I know they were in a part of it. They had a part of the title last year, I'm pretty sure.
I think they shared with Valley, and then in the girls there were like two champions. Like Valley Christian won the regular season, and then like they gave like the second half championship to East Palestine. It got really weird in the EOAC last year.
I do remember that too. I remember the shared title from last year. I'm gonna look at real quick too. I want to see. I think Wellsville beat both of them though. Columbiana. They beat them 60-59 back on December 14th, and then Valley Christian was 55-44 on the 11th. Both those. Well, Columbiana was away. Valley was at home, so they will have to face Valley Christian at Valley Christian, but Columbiana will be in Wellsville, though. Clippers came within 1-2, and Columbiana's actually been kind of that under-the-radar team all season.
But correct me if I'm wrong. The first, they played United twice already, Wellsville has. I think the first one was one of their losses in the EOAC, right?
Their one loss, yes, was 58-52 at United.
So now we fast forward. They beat United last week, like 75-44.
Yeah, they definitely
was that right on the right on the score?
That was right on the money with that score.
Okay, so I think that's kind of a glaring example of how much this team focuses on second matchups and how much they can adjust really well to whenever they have to. I believe Wellsville right now is just in a better spot.
Well, this is going to be the telling game coming up with Lisbon, I think, Anthony, because last time was a 6-point loss to Lisbon. Does Wellsville come out with that same fire that they did against United?
By the way, that is so interesting that Wellsville is having two teams chase them, but they don't have a loss to either of those two teams.
No, it's
like it's been monkey wrench EOAC teams.
I believe United is not out of it, but they have 4 losses. Lisbon has 5, so they're really they need a lot of help.
So it's like middle of the pack teams coming in and beating Wellsville, not the teams that are like chasing them right on their heels.
No, and Wellsville's last loss was to Lisbon too. So this can be their revenge. This is their not their last loss. Obviously, overall they lost to Beaver Local a couple weeks ago in Oak Glen, rather, excuse me. But no, last conference loss since January 7th. That was the last time they lost in conference too. It's almost a month after when they're going to be facing off again. So 30 days. Bug Thompson has to get his team ready again to face off against Lisbon. You know, Lisbon would love to absolutely throw another monkey wrench into this whole thing, because if they beat Wellsville, then all of a sudden those matchups all become for EOAC title shares then that you have with Valley Christian and Columbiana.
Let's play the same game with other conferences that are up in the air.
Well, do you want to say on boys' side, or do you have a girls' one you have in mind? Or
either way, I mean, like, look, there are so many conferences up in the air. I mean, like the MVAC Starlets here on boys' side is almost done. Springfield has control of that.
What I picked up too on the boys' side that's not done yet. I mean, Struthers has firm control of the NE8 on the boys' side, but right now Poland has 2 losses, Struthers with 1. Jefferson's the next game on Struthers'
Right.
schedule.
The difference is Struthers has already beaten Poland twice.
Yeah. So
Poland does not control their own destiny, but Struthers has some tough games ahead. They only beat Jefferson by, I want to say 8 the first time around.
they did beat, and
now they have to go to Jefferson.
And this is going to be an interesting matchup too. And I mean, Coach Wernicke and staff are going to have a big game coming up with the Falcons and the Wildcats in this one.
Whenever that actually happens, by the
Yeah,
way.
when we're trying to.
It already got moved to tomorrow and then postponed for tomorrow. So
I don't know if they have it rescheduled yet, but yeah, that is definitely going to be one that any 8 implications are huge then, because kind of Girard fell out of it and they were the only other team kind of in the race. It's right now a 3-team race between Jefferson, Struthers, and Poland right now. Like you said, Poland can't control their own destiny. Their 2 losses in the any 8 coming to Struthers, one of Jefferson's 2 coming to the Wildcats, and of course Girard beating Struthers for Struthers' only loss.
Right. So we have this. These are all the girls' games. By the way, we just got sent this. These are all the girls' games that are scheduled to be going on tomorrow. Whether they were originally scheduled for tomorrow or they're moved, either way, they are scheduled for tomorrow. So we have St. Thomas Aquinas at JFK at 11 a.m. Indian Creek at Beaver Local at 11:30. Garfield at Crestview at 11:30. Mineral Ridge at Niles at 12. Girard will go to Lakeview at 12:15. West Branch will be at Minerva at 12:30. Boardman at Warren Harding at 1 o'clock. Brookfield at Champion at 1 o'clock. Carrollton at Salem at 1:30. Sharpsville at Struthers will be at 1:30. Cheney at East will be at 2:30. Canfield Howland will be at 2:30. Waterloo is going to play at Sebring at 5:30. Northwest of Louisville is going to be the doubleheader at 5:30. And then United will play at Columbiana at 7 o'clock. So girls basketball from 11 to 7 tomorrow.
Full swing, too. I mean, games all over the place. And DJ commenting again, all games are now canceled in the YSN family networks. So the last one.
We were looking so good.
I know. Unfortunate, but another night without local sports here in the area. And snow days.
You know what, though? DJ brought this up the last time we had a snow day. I want to reiterate it on my show. People don't understand how, this is a tough decision for ADs and superintendents and school executives to make, because there's a lot, especially on Friday nights when they probably the best crowds probably come on Friday nights. I don't think anyone would argue that for basketball. It's better than Tuesday nights. It's better than Monday, Thursday. Everyone wants to come out to a basketball game on Friday nights. But they're making the decision to put the student safety above anything else. And, it would be easy to just say, the roads will be better by 7. We're just going to push it and we'll get them there. But is that really the safety, or are you just trying to get the revenue of the Friday night, So making decisions to keep people safe over the revenue that you would get on a Friday night, cannot give enough props to these school administrators and ADs for making these really tough decisions, because everyone wants to play, everyone wants to get games in. But putting not just the student safety, but the audience and the supporters and the fan safety first is definitely a good move.
Yeah, you don't want to have a bunch of traffic on roads with that. There you go. There you go, DJ. Esports coverage.
I said yesterday.
Yeah, you did.
We should get some high school basketball players to have a 2K tournament, since we can't get basketball on the air tonight. I think that would be really fun.
Just get a bunch of basketball players to just run up on 2K.
Jackson Milton versus Western Reserve boys basketball, but it's
Anthony's calling it too.
Yeah, we're calling. Let's go.
Anthony's sitting there with the headset on.
Prove up with the boss man. Let's do it. Now we just have to. I have to go learn how to run a Twitch.
The Twitch.
Because I've never done a Twitch.
The Twitch.
No, not that Twitch.
I've never done the Twitch. He said. He said that on live stream. I've never done the
Twitch.
The Twitch myself.
Back to these conferences, though, by the way, that are still up in the air for girls and boys basketball.
Yeah, like we said, I mean, the boys' side of the NE8 is another one that's going to be interesting down the stretch. Girls' side of the MVAC champion and Liberty still have to play each other.
And champion, even if they don't win the league, they want to prove to themselves that they were a lot better than that first performance. I think talking to Michael Cole yesterday, he knows, and everyone in champion knows, that they're better than a 30-point loss to Liberty.
Yeah, and I mean that's going to be a telling one is how they respond in this next game too, and can they overcome the Leopards from last time, or at least be competitive against them? Because hey, I mean the conferences or a share of it at least is on the line as well. Looking to Anthony wouldn't be able to tell who's who. They all need to wear super bright shoes is the thing. The AAC boys side's another one that's interesting right now. Boardman is leading it, but the only one in contention right now is Harding with 2 losses, but I think both those teams have to square up against each other one other time this season, so Boardman can control their own destiny and win the conference again, too, as Boardman's kind of always been up with that AAC conference on the boys' side, too, either taking it or having a piece of it, I believe, the last few years. They've done a great job, too, and Coach Birch has done a great job with that program. Yeah, and Harding has Boardman at home, too, so it's going to be at Harding. Friday, February 11th is when it's scheduled, so that's a big conference game too, Spartans and Raiders for the AAC on the boys' side of things. So that's another conference game where in that one, if Harding wins that one, they can get a share of it. If Boardman wins it, they can get it outright. You have the NE8 on the boys' side. That's still close to that Struthers and Jefferson game's going to mean big for them. Wellsville still has to play Columbiana and Valley Christian, and as of right now, both of those teams are only 1 loss back of Wellsville in the conference. Wellsville still has to play Lisbon, too, who they lost to in the conference as well earlier in the season. So a lot of big games still coming up on the boys' side, too, for conferences, and I believe that's all the conferences that we have to check, right? I mean,
I think we're just trying to see how many times we can say conferences in the same sentence, to be honest. Yeah, because, I think out of all of that, I think the AAC is still up for grabs because Warren Harding has looked really impressive, but then they go and they lose their home game to Howland on a buzzer beater. And Howland's been a team that, like, the top teams have been kind of flexing on. Boardman beat them up pretty bad. So for Warren Harding, but they've also went and they almost beat Cheney. The kid's foot was on the line by this much. That would have tied the game against Cheney, but then Warren Harding has been a team that you can't forget about in the AAC, but also they're going to look at their season and say, we won the league, but we lost a home game to Howland.
Yeah, and I mean, that's going to hurt. Boardman, though, was a team that started off with 3 straight wins. I think they lost, 4 straight then? 5 straight?
Riding that roller coaster, man.
Yeah, and then they won 4 straight, and then they slipped up against Harding the last time, and Harding beat them in Boardman 56-47, so that's the thing that's still Boardman's remembering right now, but that they had that one stretch where they lost to Uniontown Lake, which these are all good teams, by the way, North Can, Hoover, Louisville, and Poland, and Cheney, too, 5-game stretch, excuse me. But, I mean, they definitely rode the roller coaster.
If I remember right, that Cheney game was the one at the Poland United Way Classic, and it was one where Boardman was down at least 3 starters.
Yeah. So it was one where they didn't have full squad too. So yeah, give credit there too, and give them their.
But when they were full strength, it was still a close game with Cheney. So I'm not saying like, they would have smoked Cheney with a full roster, because we saw them play Cheney like 2 weeks before with a full roster, and Boardman won, but Boardman won barely.
Yeah, and let me just double check. Yeah, and they have won 7 of their last 8 now, and that only loss coming to Harding. So Boardman looking really good towards the end of the season, as they usually do. But with Harding beating them last time in Boardman and now it being in Harding, this is too for conference title. Harding can grab a piece of it, and Boardman can pretty much lock it up outright.
Ty, we've both seen Trey DePietro play, and that kid's he's lethal because he's as big as he is, and he can control the post, but he can handle the ball too. That's a guy that when he gets the rebound, he doesn't have to panic and look for an outlet pass to find a point guard. He can just take it himself if he has to. We see so many post players catch a ball, get the rebound, and then where do I go with it? I can't, and then they're trapped, and then all of a sudden they turn the ball right back over. But Trey DePietro's he can get the rebound, and then he can cross you over real nice and take the ball himself.
He's not the biggest guy either, so he doesn't always have to go to the. He doesn't always go to the box down too. And the perfect
He's
example.
big enough.
He's big enough, but we're talking about guys bulky wise too, because I saw it at Fitch, Evan Saul Lee and Joe Roth too. He couldn't go back down as much with them too, as far as rebounding was concerned. He had to use his length and he had to use elusiveness, because I mean, like he'll tell you too. He's big. I mean, he's tall. He's
tall.
He's
I get
tall.
what you're he's tall. He's not like
he doesn't have the bulk size too.
Right. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Joe Roth and Evan Saleh bring that as far as size down low too.
But he's taller than them, right?
Yeah, but he was able to use length without getting over the back too, and that's key too. When guys are getting good positioning, boxing you out, and they have that kind of size advantage on you, but you still have that height advantage, grabbing the rebound without drawing over the back calls is huge too, and he was able to do that. He had 12 rebounds on the night against Fitch, and that's
also really good officiating for not like there's a difference between going over someone's back and just being taller than them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So some officials will call it even when if it says like I just got the ball before you and I'm taller than you. Oh, that's over the no, it's not over the back if they don't actually go over you to get the ball.
Yeah, and also too when it's going up for physical rebounds, I mean he's just able to poke balls loose too, and I mean he's just able to find himself in those positions to where he's able to sneak his arms in places you feel like he shouldn't be able to.
That's because the kid's wingspan is ridiculous. I mean, like, he's got to be one of those.
His frame reminds me of Will.
I forget what they call it. He's got to be one of those guys where his wingspan is at least as much as his height.
Will Aljancic's another player that comes to mind that plays similar to Trey DePietro for Louisville. That's another player of his stature. He might shoot a little bit better.
Aljancic's probably more of a perimeter threat.
Yeah, Aljancic's more of a perimeter threat. I think DePietro does a little bit better with the post shots, the hooks and fades. But I mean, looking at Aljancic, he's the similar build, similar height, I think, too, with it too, and he has the same kind of skill level as far as grabbing rebounds too, and that's what makes him. He's a pest as far as just he's able to grab.
Here's the question: who do you have more trust in the AAC? We'll go back to our original question about these conferences.
Who's winning it?
Yeah, who do you have more trust in? Because they're really come down to two teams right now, if I'm not mistaken. Just Boardman and Harding.
I like how Harding's been playing as of late, but I can't. For what Boardman has done, I have to give him the respect and say until someone takes him off, I gotta say Boardman is.
Even though Warren Harding has taken them off,
they took him down in the first game. They did, but Boardman's a team that can thrive on the road as well, and I mean they're fine with that adversity. Coach Birch coaches that team so well. And the fact that they've been there, done that, won this conference so many times before, I got to give the Spartans respect and think that in this matchup too, I mean, we'll see how picks go later on too. I don't know if there's going to be any inactives or anything like that down the line, but for right now, my confidence level with the Spartans is pretty high as far as who's going to win the conference, just because they've been there before. They've done this consistently. They know how to win this conference.
See, it's hard because I think both teams this year have, I hate to use the same analogy, but they've been riding the roller coaster a little bit. They've been looking like, oh man, these teams are world beaters. And there are times when both teams are like, what are we doing here? Why are we losing like this? Why are we losing 28-26? We can score more than 26 points. We have enough talent to score more than 26 points. But how Harding already has the road win. So they're sitting with a matchup at home against Boardman. I kind of lean that way. I mean, when it's a toss-up and both teams are playing so similar to each other, and it's the home team.
With Harding's only one loss back of Boardman. Boardman only has two conference games. They have Harding and they have Canfield. Canfield's two losses back.
Don't sleep on Canfield because that game, Canfield wants to prove that they got embarrassed by Boardman the first time in Canfield, and they kind of want to prove to everybody that this isn't us.
So even if Boardman loses to Harding, if they can still beat Canfield, they will have a piece of the AAC championship. But I mean, you go 0 for 2, then they will, I believe,
And
lose.
now, remember that game against Canfield got moved because it was supposed to be tonight.
It's the 19th now.
19th, yeah. Good call. I was gonna double check to make sure, but 19th.
Yeah,
so a week from tomorrow. Does that make it ahead of the Warren Harding game now? Is it in front of it?
It's the last game of the season on Boardman's schedule. Yep.
So now they'll play Warren Harding first, and then Canfield.
Yeah, and Harding still has Fitch coming up on Saturday tomorrow. They have Canfield on their schedule, and they have Boardman. So Harding has 3 conference games left. Boardman has 2, and Boardman has, obviously, they have the matchup with each other, Harding and Boardman. Boardman still has to face Canfield. Harding has Canfield and Fitch.
That makes me want to lean more towards Boardman as being the team I trust more to get a AAC championship, because Harding still has tough Fitch, tough Canfield, and then they have to go beat Boardman. Like, all Boardman really has to do is beat Canfield, and they have a share at least. So they have one game they have to win, and then if they don't, all they have to do is beat Warren Harding.
Well, if they beat Warren Harding, the game with Canfield not meaningless, but they have the championship locked up. Then
it's definitely an easier path for Boardman to win the AAC.
Yeah, for sure. They just have to win one of those 2 games, Harding or Canfield, and they'll have either a piece or the outright title in the AAC. And I mean, don't sleep on Fitch beating Harding. Fitch has been competitive with every team too. Canfield can definitely beat Harding as well. I mean, it's a very tough conference. So I mean, more conference games on Harding's side gonna be interesting to see how that one wraps up.
Can we go to the girls' side? Some conferences up in the air still, and I know it would be easy to say we have a lot more faith in Liberty in the MVAC great year because of the way they've been playing this year and the fact that they beat the only team that's really left in the race by 30 points earlier this year. So it would be really easy and obvious to say we have more faith in Liberty to win that conference. But caveat, timeout. Just want to give this about Champion. 1, they have more senior leadership. 2, they're more experienced in winning. Liberty is learning how to win. You know, can they deal with the high pressure? You have to win this to win the league. You don't know. And 3, I think Champion has a couple of things that they have grown, because remember, I think that Liberty game was timed right when they lost their freshman leading scorer to an injury. Like maybe 2 or 3 games, there wasn't a lot of gap between losing that player and then that Liberty game. I think now we're seeing them learn how to play without her and still succeed.
And that's a big thing too.
Like I said, I know it would be easy to say, "Oh, we trust Liberty to win this in VAC," but I would not sleep on Champion. And of course, Liberty can get a share at least with the win over Camel. That's all they have to do is beat Camel, and they have at least a share. But I think Champion still has something to say as far as getting a share of that title.
Yeah, and I mean that's gonna be interesting to see how Champion is gonna come out with that one too, because I mean, after getting, like you said, beat the way they did by Liberty last time, it's gonna be interesting to see how competitive they're gonna be the second time around.
I always get scared when really good teams get embarrassed by it like that in the next matchup, because it's like, it's not going to happen again. It's not going to be a 30-point victory.
Yeah, it'd be something.
I would be shocked if Liberty ran away with it again. Maybe it was a matchup. Maybe Liberty just matches up better with Champion. Maybe they'll run away with it again. But I would be shocked if it happened. And I believe that game will be in Champion, if I'm not mistaken.
One conference I forgot to mention too on the boys' side that we do cover. It's the little conference, Steel Valley Conference. Pretty much, Cheney has wrapped that one up. They got one more matchup with East to win, but they only have 1 loss in the conference to Mooney. But they've already played Mooney and Ursuline twice. Ursuline has 2 losses, both to Cheney, and then Mooney has 2 losses, and I believe one of them is to Cheney, and I think 1 to Ursuline, I believe.
No, that Champion game, by the way, will be at Liberty, not in Champion. So that'll be a home game for the Leopards.
That'll be a tough one then for Champion to try to pull out.
Talking about the Steel Valley Conference too, the game that was supposed to be tonight on the girls' side was for the SVS Championship.
That one is up in the air. The Holy War too. It's Mooney and Ursuline.
Comes down to the Holy War. Who knew?
I love it too, because I mean you got north and south side competing for that girls' title, but west side got it on the boys' side for Cheney too.
Where does your compass point?
Yeah, where does the compass point? It points west for the boys, it seems like. They do have a matchup with Youngstown East left in the conference, but pretty much win that one, and they lock up Steel Valley Conference again as Cheney. Another successful season over there with the
Can we
Cowboys.
just talk about how happy we are that the Steel Valley Conference is back, and we get to talk about these matchups being meaningful and carrying a conference championship and what that means for these teams
I
and the
love
goal
that
they can set.
the city of Youngstown has its own conference. I think that's awesome.
I mean, Coach Baker, who was the old coach at Cardinal Mooney, now he's moved on and he's an assistant at Grove City. I feel like he had a really good comment last year when we were talking to him about his girls and the dream and the goal of winning a Steel Valley championship and what that meant. It just put a little bit more focus on them throughout the season. It was really easy for independent teams to kind of lose focus on a game or two because everything is just, hey, we're getting ready for tournaments. Hey, we're getting ready for tournaments. We have no goal in the regular season to really lock ourselves into. And Mooney finally got that the last couple of years with the girls' side and the boys' side. They have a conference they're a part of now. And that's one of the things that being in a conference can really help you. And I know Louisville gets the credit of their schedule is ridiculous, and you're not going to get that kind of schedule when you're locked down by a conference. But there is a plus side to being in a conference as well. You get to be a little bit more focused during the season.
Yeah, and I mean, it does help playing conference games, especially when conferences are competitive too. Girls' side too is a few of the teams are trying to build up in Cheney and East. Cheney, a program that just came back a couple of years ago. East is already starting to improve. They've improved from where they were last year, and they're on the uptrend.
Because East gave Mooney a scare. I mean, it was 40-34, if I'm not mistaken, a 6-point win for Mooney. So East was not a pushover this year.
Don't count out that girl side. And then, of course, on the boys' side, Ursuline's always good. Mooney's good again. Cheney's had this competitive program. East is a little down this year. They were good last year, and they're never more than a year away from being right back in the thick of things, too. It's just a great basketball conference. All four schools are always so tough, it feels like, especially with each other.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And we haven't received word yet on when that girls matchup between Mooney and Ursuline has been rescheduled for. But like I said, that one will be literally for all the marbles in the Steel Valley Conference. Holy War comes down to it.
That's going to be exciting, too. And you know that gym's going to be filled for the Holy War between Ursuline and Mooney.
Ty, let's take another break. And when we come back, we'll do our picks for Saturday's games that are still on. And we'll talk about those matchups and what we see out of them today.
Sounds good.
We'll be right back on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Every customer has a story, and at Greenwood Chevrolet, we are committed to making sure it ends with you in the right vehicle. I get to be part of somebody's adventure, whether it's buying a car for the first time, helping them get approved, or finding the perfect car for their budget. I'm proud that people trust me with their finances. They trust me to take care of them, and they trust me with their story. I'm Tracy, and I'm ready to go the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Working with your family can be stressful at times, but because they're family, you know that you're going to get a loving, honest answer, even when things don't make sense, to any problem. Dealing with Medicare can be confusing and overwhelming. That's why here at Myers Family Insurance, we do our best to give you honest and caring answers to all of your questions. Family, like Medicare, isn't always perfect, but when you put others first, the results can be amazing.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance.
It's storm season.
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
And Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air.
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
Online.
All right, let's talk high-risk futurecast and the timing of this weather.
On social media and on our app.
Notice we'll have scattered showers on Thursday.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsurancesolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town. Anthony Harwick alongside Ty Bartell. We're getting good at that. We are getting real good at that, Ty, and we're going to go into our picks for tomorrow's games. Obviously, DJ Oakley coming in saying that all games tonight have been canceled. Wyndham and Badger hung on for a little bit, but they eventually could not play tonight, so they will be canceled as well. But we have a lot of games tomorrow now. So let's start with the girls action. We'll just go girls, then we'll go boys. And we start, Ty. Do you want the first pick or do you want to give it to me? It is going to be St. Thomas Aquinas at JFK, just so you know.
Boys or girls?
Girls. Girls first. Then we'll
go on. You take it.
All right. So last time these two teams met, it was a 4-point victory, I believe, for JFK, if I'm not mistaken. This one's in JFK. 11 o'clock tip, by the way. I'll take the Eagles, JFK. Give me the rock the banner.
Yeah, I'll rock the banner with you then. I'll take JFK.
Yeah, you better rock the banner. So come over there. Indian Creek at Beaver Local. This one will be a 11:30 tip, and it is your first pick.
Oh man, girls basketball, right?
Yep, we're all on girls right now. I'll tell you when we switch. Don't worry.
Yeah, you're gonna try to get some quick ones over on me, is what you're gonna try to do. Give me Beaver Local. Why not?
Rock the banner, Ty. Not playing the villain today. I'm gonna split with you though. I'm gonna play the villain.
Yeah, Indian Creek.
Indian Creek's a pretty good girls team. I'll take them. Garfield at Crestview, 11:30 tip. This is my first pick. Can't go against the G-Men right now.
Yeah, I got Garfield.
Although Crestview's only lost one game all season in that gym. So they're looking to keep that alive and protect their home floor like they have been doing so well all year. Mineral Ridge will be traveling to Niles. This is going to be a 12 o'clock tip. This one's hard. They're so comparable. I like Booth and Howell from Mineral Ridge, and of course Elena Thigpen just broke the Niles record for rebounds in a game last week against Cheney, so she's a threat, especially down low. Toss-ups go for the home team. I'll go with Niles.
Mineral Ridge.
Of course, you split. We'll have an NE8 matchup tomorrow afternoon, I should say. Girard traveling to Lakeview. Girard got the win over Struthers on Wednesday. It was 40-33 on senior night. And Girard's a team, they've been much improved. They finished strong last year. They're looking to finish strong this year, too.
Looking to get revenge, too, because I believe Lakeview beat Girard early in the season.
Yep, in overtime, if I'm not mistaken, in Girard, too. That wasn't with CH Triplet, though. So I'm taking Girard.
I'll take Girard as well. That went over. Struthers really impressed me.
Yeah, CH Triplet just makes that team a different look. West Branch at Minerva. This one will be for the Warriors' 800th program victory tomorrow against Minerva. That's what they're going for. And I think they get it. They know what's on the line. This is a Minerva team that is struggling in the EBC. And I will take West Branch to get their 800th program victory tomorrow against Minerva.
Minerva. Give me West
Branch.
Give me West Branch.
Want to backtrack real quick. That Garfield Crestview game, that milestone on the line there too. Coach Gilbert going for his 250th career victory. He already got 200 career at Garfield. Now he's going for 250 career overall. So that'll be one to watch for sure as he goes for another milestone in his coaching career.
About 250.
Boardman will travel to Warren Harding, 1 o'clock tip. Boardman controlled this game last time around, Ty. Do you think it goes any different this time?
Yeah. I'll take Boardman in this one.
I thought you were going to say yeah to my question, and you were going to take Warren Harding to win.
No,
because I asked if it would be any different, and you're like, yeah. And I was like, uh-oh.
No, I'll take Boardman.
You're going to give me a point. Yeah, I'll take Boardman too. I know it's on the road, but flat out, I think the Spartans on the girls' side are a better team.
I've seen both of them once recently, and I think Boardman looked a little bit better.
Brookfield at Champion. Oh, this one's big. 1 o'clock tip. Champion wants to keep pace. We've been talking about it. That matchup against Liberty doesn't mean anything if they don't beat Brookfield for the second time in a week.
Too, buddy.
Second time in less than a week. They beat them on Monday in a close one. Can they beat them again? This one's in Champion. You know what? I think Champion wants that game to mean something. As a fan, I want it to mean something. I'll take Champion to get the win at home.
It's so hard to pick against.
It's no fun if they lose because then that Liberty already has it down.
I know it's no fun, but you think Brookfield cares about having fun right now? I don't think the Lady Warriors care about them having fun. They don't care about the conference having fun.
They've already avenged one loss to Liberty. Can they avenge another loss to Champion?
Oh, man. They're a team about doing that, too. This
one's on the road, though. This one's on the road.
I have what? I have a 13-point advantage, I think. Yeah, because you got 2 on me the other night. It was 15, and then you got a couple on me, so it went down to 13. I'm splitting on this one. I got to go with Brookfield on this one. Give me the Lady.
Ooh, the Warriors. Really? Give you a reasoning. Like, what do you think? Because, like, they just played and Champion won. So what do you see in Brookfield? Like, what matchup do you see? Or do you just have a feeling?
It's a gut feeling, and I go back. Brookfield's such a good IQ team as far as correcting their mistakes and fixing what they've done wrong in the past, and they've done it the last couple years. You go back. I mean, we keep bringing it up, but I mean the Crestview example from going from regular season to playoffs, the Liberty example from this year too. I mean, they look at what they do well against you. They really try to focus in on that, and Coach Forsyth does a good job. And like he said on the show too, it's just these girls are very high IQ basketball players, and I'm just going off of that, and just the gut reaction just jumped Brookfield for me this time.
I picked Champion, but Brookfield's the better rebounding team, and they'll need to rebound and get second opportunities, especially on the offensive side.
Champion creates a lot of steals, though, too.
And that's what I was going to say. Champion plays almost the same kind of high-pressure press defense that Liberty does. The difference is Champion has a tendency to be a little bit more disciplined. I think Brookfield used that defense against Liberty in that matchup where Brookfield won. They forced them into a lot of foul trouble, got on the free throw line, hit their free throws. I think Champion is able to play that defense a little bit more disciplined, and they're not going to be easy to get into foul trouble.
And that's going to be a big key, too, is because Brookfield will make up a lot of their points at the foul line. Sophie Hook does a phenomenal job of getting to the line as well, too. So there's a lot of great talent over there in Brookfield. And like I said, if they're commanding that rebounding number, that's one where they're going to win the game then. Champion needs to make sure that that's a lot more 50-50 and close, and not let Brookfield take a plus 10 or a plus 15 in the rebounding box score.
Salem has had a week to stew about their loss over Mooney. They will go back in the conference tomorrow as Carrollton comes into town to face the Quakers. Ty, can Salem bounce back and get a win, or Carrollton, a team that only lost to West Branch by 4 in West Branch? Can Carrollton come and be road warriors and really throw another monkey wrench into that EBC?
Carrollton could take advantage of a Salem team, but I don't think this is a Salem team that's weakened now. I don't think their spirits are down. I think they're just pissed off right now. And if I know anything about Eric Bailey as a coach too, and what Salem does over there, Eric Bailey, a phenomenal assistant coach. I just love giving him shout outs too, because he's big with YSN. But overall, though, just Salem has looked so good at so many times this season. I think they're going to buckle it down on defense, and I think they're going to win that way.
I think this is going to be one where Salem's going to have to bounce back from adversity, but I do think they're going to get the win. I don't think they'll drop a home conference game.
Coach Hamilton does a good job of getting those girls, I think, refocused real easily, too, and I think it took probably a locker room talk after that game, but I think those girls are going to come out refocused.
They were in the locker room for longer than normal after that Mooney loss. I mean, there was probably some conversations to be had. And then I remember when they came out of the locker room, they got out of that gym in a hurry too. So there was no hanging out with people or stopping to see your friends or anything. It was like, let's get out.
Yeah, and I mean that's one where you want to talk things over. You know, you weren't yourself that night, but you got to try to move on now and get yourself back on track.
And it was almost like the inevitable thing caught up to them. You know, we've seen games this year where Salem struggled to shoot the ball, but their defense bailed them out. Their defense bailed them out. You kept thinking if this keeps happening, it might come back to bite them. Now, obviously, the last couple weeks before that Moody game, their offense started to pick things up. They scored 50 plus against Marlington, that loss, but their offense was playing really well in that game. Obviously, their offense shot the lights out against West Branch. So you were thinking, okay, they figured out the offense. Now this team's going to be really, 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 really hard to beat. But then the offensive bugaboos came back in the Mooney game. They couldn't really shoot. They struggled from the 3-point line. They only hit 3 threes all day, and they all came in the fourth quarter. They just couldn't kind of get up against that Mooney defense.
And I mean, like we said, sometimes those nights happen too. And I mean, very hard to
Their defense didn't play bad. 38 points is not a bad number to give up. It was just Mooney did just enough to win that game. And their defense couldn't bail them out enough.
Like we said, sometimes on the offensive side, it feels like there's a lid on the bucket. Sometimes it feels like the hoop's as wide as a beach ball and everything's going in too. And it was one of those nights for Salem. Salem had the beach ball night against West Branch in a big game.
I think that was, if there's anything bigger than a beach ball.
Yeah, but they had more of a lid on the bucket night
again.
What
it was? It was a exercise ball size.
Yeah, that's what it felt like, right? But I mean,
10 threes, like Mooney, 30 out of your 44 points were from the perimeter.
Mooney was just happened to be a lid on the bucket type of night for Salem, and props to Mooney for taking advantage too of a bad offensive night from the Lady Quakers.
Mooney's on a 3-game winning streak. Don't sleep on the Cardinals going into that district tournament.
Trying to win the AAC conference and take it right to the tournament, or AAC SVC conference and take it right to the tournament.
If both teams win their first round matchup, Mooney Pole in round 1, that won't be a pushover.
Oh, absolutely not. Mooney plays a great schedule too. So does Poland. That would be a fun one actually too. Coach DiOrio and Coach Blanche.
We go to the next game on the docket for tomorrow. Sharpsville making the trip from PA, crossing the border into Struthers in the field house. This will be a 1:30 start time. And I believe, Ty, after all that, I think it's your first pick.
This is still girls basketball, correct?
Yep, we're still on girls basketball.
Because I know Sharpsville
doesn't trust that I'll tell him when we move.
No, I just know Sharpsville's coming into town. I think for the boys for Fitch at some point as well for PA, so it's just odd seeing them twice. Sharpsville is pretty decent up there. They're 9-6. Don't know a whole lot about them comparative to Struthers. Struthers has looked good. Struthers plays in a pretty tough conference. I know they just lost to Girard. Give me the Lady Wildcats with the bounce back. I'll take Struthers.
Struthers is on a skid right now, and they haven't been scoring like we were used to seeing them score.
They're zigging, but I think they're going to eventually zag, and I'm going to zag before the trend starts again.
They were 0 of, I believe, 18 from 3-point land on Monday against South Range.
Just doesn't happen that often, though. That's just one of those nights, too.
You said the lid was on the bucket.
Yeah, lid was on the bucket. Lid on the bucket night.
This is what I've noticed from watching Struthers this year. When they don't hit shots early, they start forcing shots up to try to get them to fall. That can be real dangerous, like jacking long threes up that you have no business shooting. That kind of happens when they miss maybe their first 5 or 6 shots. They start to feel the pressure, like, oh, we got to hit shots now to win. And then all of a sudden, they start jacking up threes like they're Steph Curry.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't want to force the offense. You got to let it come to you, too. And, I mean, it could get frustrating at times. But
they're like everyone. Their best shots come out of their offensive flow.
But when Struthers is hitting, they're hitting, man. And they can beat some of the best teams. They've already proven that this season. So that's what just leads me to believe. And besides, it's Sharpsville. They got 9-6. I don't know about much of the teams that they've beaten on that schedule. So I'm going to go with the teams I know. I know Struthers has played tough competition, and they've gotten, I think, 10 wins now out of the season. So give me the Lady Cats.
I'd hate to play the villain, Ty, but I'm going to split with you. I got some ground to make up. I'll take Sharpsville.
He's going Sharpsville. Any reason why in particular? You know anything?
I think that Struthers is struggling right now offensively.
Okay, it's more just Struthers just on the downswing.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean that's 2 games where they've scored less than 40 points, and Sharpsville's going to bring a good defense into the field house.
I know Sharpsville's got. I feel like they've had solid teams in the past. Like I never feel like their teams are bad because I feel like I've seen them come into area teams before and play area teams before.
By the way, we just got the update that the Ursuline Mooney Steel Valley Conference Championship game for the girls has been now scheduled to February 11th at 5:30.
Right before
that is a week from
start.
tonight. A week from tonight.
Oh my goodness! Right before playoffs start, we're gonna have a Steel Valley Conference champion heading into tournaments.
Obviously, 5:30 on a Friday. I would assume that's going to be part of a boys-girls doubleheader. And maybe
you would think so.
So that's when that game will be rescheduled. We thank you for the update.
The Holy War can't. Oh my, the boys and girls. Oh my goodness,
my goodness, Holy War everywhere.
that gym is gonna explode. Are you kidding me?
We go to our next girls matchup. It is Cheney at East. It'll be a 2:30 tip tomorrow. Ty East is looking pretty good. Cheney on the downswing. I'm going to take East to win this game.
Yeah, I'm taking East as well. I really like what East has done this year on the girls' side.
I think, by the way, Tanisha Franklin has done a really good job with this group. I want to give her a lot of credit.
Yeah, and looking at too what Tanisha Franklin has been able to do. Not just the basketball coach, she's the athletic director there too.
I'll go to that too. What are you chewing on? What you got? It's not lunchtime.
I know, but I had to take this freaking thing so I could take headache medicine.
Oh man, headaches. You give me headaches. Cheney and East, I'll take East. So does Ty. And now it's your first pick for this one. Yes, you get the hard one. Canfield and Howland. 2:30 tip. AAC on the line. I'll be on the call, but you get the first pick. Mull it over, bud. It was a 2-point game in Canfield.
Give me the Lady Tigers.
Tigers sweep?
Tigers sweep. Outright champion.
This is a toss-up. I have to split with you. I would have picked Howland if you picked Canfield. I can't really lean one way or the other. They both have so much talent. They both have multiple ways to beat you. They both play really good defense. It was 40-38 the first time they met up. I'm going to say Canfield. So I'll split with you, and I'll take the Cardinals to get the win.
Gonna be interesting.
A big old fat paw.
Fat paw's gonna get you. Is what
He's gonna get me because I picked Canfield. Oh no. Waterloo will travel to Sebring. Ty. This is going to be a 5:30 tip, and Waterloo, if they win this game, I believe that would make the game against Springfield a chance to win the outright MVAC championship. So they're hoping to get the win so they can set up that game on Monday. I will take the Vikings to win this game and do that, set up the game on Monday.
Sweethearts, 100% Lady Vikings.
Yeah, I knew you would go for that. Now we'll see if you pick them on Monday.
Oh, well, you're gonna see.
We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, you will see on Monday.
Well, we will see. We will see. I think that Monday game is going to be so interesting because you look at Springfield.
It's going to be so much fun.
Springfield's kind of on the rise right now. The last time they played, they were coming off a loss to Jackson Milton. They were kind of down on themselves a little bit. Springfield just beat Jackson Milton 55-48 on Wednesday. They're feeling a lot more better about themselves coming into this matchup.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll see. We'll see. They're going to try to avenge that loss, and Waterloo trying to get that outright championship in that MVAC Scarlet side.
While we're on the Sebring Waterloo matchup, I want to give a shout out to Sebring's Devin Regai, who got her 500th career point in their last game, and that's a big accomplishment for her. It was a goal that she set. I know there's been a lot of talk about 1,000-point scores, but I don't care what your total is. When you set a goal and you hit it, that's something to be really proud of. And maybe she came into this year and 500 was a lofty goal for her, and she worked hard and she set that goal and she met it. So want to give a big shout out to Devin Regai and her accomplishment on 500 career points in Sebring.
Yeah, and I mean they do a phenomenal job over there too, over in Sebring, and trying to develop young talent. But Devin Regai, one of those that have been there, and I mean like you said, whenever you set goals for yourself and you're able to accomplish them, that definitely deserves a little bit of
So
recognition.
I stand corrected. I have to recuse myself. The Waterloo win tomorrow, if they were able to win over Sebring, will give them the chance to at least share with the win over Springfield. To get the win outright, they would have to beat Sebring, beat Springfield, and then get one win against McDonald, Jackson Miltner, or Mineral Ridge. So the win against Sebring, if they're able to get it tomorrow, would set up a share of the title.
Well, it would have been outright, because if they would have played the Rams, and then you would assume Waterloo being the favorite and Sebring Mineral Ridge before.
I forgot they were scheduled to play Mineral Ridge last night. I was in that mindset. They didn't, obviously.
Yeah, but I mean, Waterloo still absolutely controls their own destiny, and be huge for that girls team to win the conference too. After, I mean, it's competitive Scarlet side of the MVAC, so Waterloo.
And I'll tell you, I am done not believing in Waterloo, because I mean, we have had every time that it's been like, well, this is going to be the real test, right? This is going to be the real test in the MVAC. Can they do it? Well, they keep doing it.
I'm excited to see some potential matchups in the tournament, and I believe Waterloo's in Liberty's bracket. And if we might see a Lady Viking lady.
Ty, the first matchup Waterloo has, they have a bye the first round, I believe, and they're waiting the winner of South Range Grand Valley.
And I've seen that one too. And I mean, if it's South Range, that should be a fun one too.
So
I'm excited for that one. I wonder.
If that matchup goes on, the talk all week is going to be strength of schedule, and I think the Vikings are going to get sick of it.
Oh, absolutely!
Real quick.
I mean,
real quick.
Because Waterloo is the higher seed, so that one would be in Waterloo. First two matchups, right?
Yeah,
would be in Waterloo. So they would So it's the sectional semis and the sectional finals are at home.
Right. So South Range hosts Grand Valley. The South Range is the 7, Grand Valley the 20. And then winner will go to Waterloo, no matter what.
So, I mean, Waterloo at least gets that home game against one of those two teams, and that's going to be a great matchup, I think.
So that'll be fun. That'll be fun for sure. We have to continue our picks, though, in the girls' basketball side. Still in girls' basketball, it is going to be Louisville hosting Northwest as part of a boys-girls doubleheader. And it is your first pick.
Louisville.
The Leopards. The freshman Courtney Barwick is really coming on. She led them in their win over Uniontown Lake on Wednesday. She's starting to score at a high clip. And now when you add her to Kelsey Adelman, Kendall Moy, Taryn McGlitch, there's one, Brooke Heron, who had 12 in that win over Union. I mean, like, you look, she can beat us. Oh my gosh, how do you defend this team?
Louisville and Howland, man, are the two teams I keep saying in Division I to watch out for. Canfield's a wild card, I think.
And now they have a freshman that can score too.
Coach Kudo doing a phenomenal job coming back to this program this year too. Kind of just last second taking the position and doing some phenomenal things with it after stepping back in. That's impressive. If you want to go, I think if you want to go Coach of the Year award, I think Coach Kudo's up for it, because literally Midnight Hour takes the coaching position and is taking this team to new heights.
Yeah, I'll take it. You know who?
I'll take it. I'll come back to the program.
Just sachets in.
I don't want to tell the story for him, but you need to listen to his story on how he took this job back and what he was doing.
We need to get him on the show to tell this story. Now that
we'll have to bring Coach Kudo on. We had him on a couple post-game interviews, but what he's doing with this team is phenomenal this year.
You gotta love Coach Kudo, and Louisville definitely does. Their whole community loves that guy.
They wanted him back. They wanted him back.
The last girls' game on the slate as of now is United at Columbiana. That'll be a 7:00 tip. United, this is kind of like their last real big challenge in the EOAC, I think, is this Columbiana team that comes in with, I believe, 2 losses in the EOAC, but they've been a good team. They have really good pieces in there. So I think this is United's last kind of hurdle in that EOAC.
I think so as well. Is it your first pick or mine?
It's my first pick. I'm going to take the Eagles to get the win.
I'll take United as well because you picked United. If you picked Columbiana, I'd be scared because every time I don't pick them, they end up winning. But I'm going with United in this one.
Not clapping today. I'm sorry, Clippers. We'll move on to the boys' games that are scheduled for tomorrow. And, why don't we just start with that Louisville Northwest doubleheader and pick the Leopards against Northwest this time around?
Spot me again. Leopards.
Leopards. I'm going to take the Leopards too. They are 4 wins away from getting that milestone win for Coach Siegfried.
Just milestone after milestone. Louisville's such a good sports program.
We have Camel at Crestview. This will be at 3:00 for boys basketball. Remember, Garfield's going to play at Crestview. No, they didn't move that to tomorrow. All these movements, man, I'm telling you. Did they? Now I want to double check. Hold on. Yeah, they did. That is tomorrow. Garfield at Crestview is going to be at 11:30 for the girls, and then the boys will be at 3:00 for
full day of basketball.
So Camel at Crestview boys. My first pick, I'll take the number 1 power ranked team in the YSN power rankings. Camel. They keep rocking.
Yeah, give me the Rockin' Red Devils.
We move on to the next boys matchup. Tomorrow it is the Urban Scholars at East. Ian O'Brien will be on the call. 5:30 tip for this game. Your first pick. I almost picked it for you.
You did. You were really mauling that one over, weren't you, Anthony?
I was like, oh, your first pick.
Honestly, I don't know I'm trying to think of Urban Scholars and if I've seen them.
I'll tell you, they've been a lot more competitive this year than they were last. Last year they were kind of like a doormat, but this year they're starting to really
right
push teams. What?
They're the Hawks, right?
Right. They have. Let's see. Their logo is like the eagle that's looking right at you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, you're right. I know what they're.
It's a weird color scheme. It's like a blue, and I wouldn't call it orange. It's kind of like if you took orange and you put it into a leaf gold and mixed it around a little bit.
East got the 1 win on the year. They've been competitive against a lot of teams, though. What the hell? Give me East. Give me East.
I'll split with you.
Academy.
Give me the Urban Scholars to win that game. Hubbard at South Range. This will be a 6:30 tip for the boys basketball. Hubbard got the win last time in the Eagles Nest. South Range, they've been putting things together a little bit the last couple of weeks. They got wins over Girard. They got the 4-point loss to Struthers. They have the win over Lakeview. This is my first pick, isn't it?
Yeah.
It always comes to me when it's the South Range. It always does. It's like, hey, it's Anthony's first pick for his alma mater. Give me the Raiders at home.
Yeah, I'll take South Range.
Yeah. Okay. Heartland Christian goes to Middle Ridge. 7:00 tip for this one. Johnny Buckets and the Lions, but the Rams have had some big wins on the year too. Remember Zupko hit a buzzer beater to beat McDonald at home. So Heartland Christian, they've struggled on the road against MVAC Scarlet teams.
Heartland.
You're taking the Lions. I'm trying to build up the matchup, and you're just like,
I know you're trying to build up the matchup.
But I'm going Heartland. I'll take Heartland too. You're just ruining my amping up of the matchup. Maplewood goes to Brookfield boys basketball. 7:00 tip.
This one's your first pick, buddy.
I'm gonna take Maplewood to get the win on the road.
Yeah, I'll take Maplewood as well.
We have Salem going to Ursuline boys basketball. 7:00 tip. Salem world beaters last week with wins over Marlington and West Branch. Can they continue that trend and beat a very good Ursuline team? This is your first pick. You're getting all the hard ones today. I love it.
I know. I mean, Salem's looked really good. Ursuline coming off of losses, but I don't know. I feel like Salem's catching teams at some right times with Marlington and West Branch able to trip them up. I feel like Ursuline is I feel like they're coached differently with Coach Gunther. I'm going to go with the Irish in this one.
I'm going to be super aggressive. I'm going to go with the trends. Salem's trending up. Ursula's trailing down. Give me the Quakers on the road to get the win.
Oh, Anthony's feeling.
I know both those upsets were in the Quaker Dome, and it's a different atmosphere when you're in Salem, and they're on the road this time, and it's going to be a tough mountain to climb for Salem. But I got to split with you. I'm going to take the Quakers.
Fair split. Fair split.
St. Thomas Aquinas at United. This is boys basketball, remind you. 7 o'clock tip. It is my first pick, and I'm going to rock the banner this time. I'll get the Eagles.
Yeah, give me United. Why not?
All right, we go to JFK hosting Champion. 7 o'clock tip. Dom O'Brien will be on the call. Your first pick.
Hey, JFK.
Yeah, I think this will go a lot better than the car ride in Dallas for JFK.
Oh my god. Oh my god. You just upset the entire boomer population that watches this. The baby boomers are pissed at you now, Anthony. Congratulations. Well, Anthony, I would hope that it wouldn't.
That was so wrong. So wrong. I knew it as soon as I said it.
Was there on a platter and he took it. He was like, yep, I'm going to grab that one. Oh my god.
Give me JFK to get the win. My first pick for the game that you'll be at, it is Warren Harding and Austintown. Fitch. Harding needs his win to set up the AAC big matchup in Boardman. Actually, it'll be in Warren Harding. Then, these two teams already played, right? Harding won.
Yes.
You're not gonna. Oh, thank you. I was about to say you're not gonna help me.
That's
I'll take Harding. I'll take Harding to get the win.
Spartans. Give me Boardman.
No, this is Fitch. This is your game tomorrow.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were saying Boardman.
No, they have to win this game to set up the big one against Boardman.
Falcons.
I knew you wouldn't pick against the team that you're.
Oh, look at him! He's like, Ty, I've studied your moves. I know your.
I know your tells.
I know my easy splits when I see them.
Lisbon at Wellsville. This one, Wellsville trying to avenge the early season loss to the Blue Devils. Lisbon's coming off the win over Southern on Tuesday. Ty, it is your first pick for this one.
Which one is it again? I'm sorry.
Lisbon at Wellsville.
Oh, I went with Lisbon last time. I was rocking with them.
And they won for you.
I know they did. But you brought up that really good point about Wellsville versus United. And I honestly wasn't looking at it until you started talking about it earlier. In Wellsville too. I can't take against all that. Give me the Tigers.
Yep, give me the Tigers too. Ty, we just got one added. It is McDonald Western Reserve, boys and girls doubleheader. We'll pick the boys first since we're on the boys train right now. This one will be a 7 o'clock tip. Eric Hughes will be on the call in Western Reserve. That's my first pick.
Oh, okay.
And I'll take Reserve to split. They barely lost to McDonald last time. And I'll take Reserve to split this matchup.
Reserve took some bumps against Lowville, but I think the boys' team's looking really good offensively as of late. Yeah, give me Coach Sarinsky.
Oh,
yeah, Coach Sarinsky. Yeah, it's at Western Reserve. It's at Western Reserve. If it was at McDonald, it'd be different circumstances. At Western Reserve, they're a different team at home.
Your buddy's gonna be mad at you.
He'll be Jimmy Franticelli won't be that mad.
We go back now. There's a girls matchup now between McDonald and Western Reserve. That'll be a 5:30 tip. Eric Hughes pulling double duty. He'll have that one too.
McDonald
only, of course.
Too.
And it is your first pick this time between McDonald and Western Reserve.
McDonald's won both their matchups at home against Reserve on the boys and girls side this season. I don't know. I'm not sure if Lindsey Jones is healthy, though. I don't know if she played recently because that's their starting guard. And she's huge for that team. And if she's still down, that's going to make things tough. I'll split on this one. I'm going to go McDonald Blue Devils on this one.
Ooh, I thought we were going to split on this one. I thought you were heading towards Western Reserve.
I was thinking about it, but I don't know the status of Lindsey Jones. I got to go McDonald.
Yeah, I had this sneaky feeling that for some reason McDonald is in the head of Western Reserve. I feel like they got rent space in there, and it's going to be
rent free.
It's not just going to be a mental, physical hurdle to get over McDonald. It's going to be a mental struggle for Western Reserve. But on paper, I think they're the better team. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah, I mean,
but like you said, we don't know the status of Lindsey Jones, and that's important. I'm going to take McDonald. I won't split with you on this one.
Yeah, I just feel like it's too up in the air with her status.
Yeah, I'll take McDonald, and I believe that does it for our picks. If I'm not missing any, no, I think that's it. Let's go and make sure that see which ones we split on before we get out of here. We both picked JFK girls. This is all girls basketball. We both picked JFK to beat St. Thomas Aquinas.
Yeah.
Right. We both picked Salem to beat Carrollton.
I believe so. Yep.
We both picked. No, we split on Beaver Local Indian Creek.
Yes.
So now we have. I took Indian Creek. You took Beaver Local.
Yep.
We split on Garfield at Crestview.
Yes.
No, we didn't. No, we both picked Garfield. I'm sorry. Both picked Garfield. We split on this next one. You picked Middle Ridge Girls. I picked Niles. Right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yes.
We split on that. Girard at Lakeview. We both picked Girard.
I have a update too. Fitch just posted on their Facebook account. Their game tomorrow against Harding is now postponed and will be made up on Saturday. So a game going down, and there's some games going down
the next Saturday, the 12th. You mean? Because tomorrow is Saturday.
That's what I'm saying. That game tomorrow that got postponed from today to tomorrow is now postponed from tomorrow to a makeup date to be determined.
Oh, okay.
So, and I'm hearing that there might be some other games too. It looks like possibly the Salem Ursuline one too. Tomorrow might be going down too. I don't know. I'm trying to see the confirmation on this page. It's loading though. But it's
stay up to date on that for sure. But let's go back to our picks. West Branch Minerva, we both take the Warriors.
Yeah.
We both took the Lady Spartans to beat Warren Harding. And
yep.
We split on Brookfield Champion, right? I took Champion. You took Brookfield.
Yep.
Carrollton and Salem, we both picked Salem.
Yep.
Split on Struthers Sharpsville. I took Sharpsville. You took Struthers.
Yep.
Both picked East to beat Cheney.
Yep.
Split on Canfield Howland. I took Canfield. You took Howland.
Yes.
We both picked Waterloo to beat Sebring.
Yep.
We both picked Louisville to beat Northwest.
Yep.
We both picked United to beat Columbiana.
Yes.
Now on the boys' side, we both picked Campbell to beat Crestview.
Yes.
We both picked the Urban Scholar. No, we split on Urban Scholars East, didn't we? You took the Bears.
I did.
All right, so we'll split on that one. We both took South Range to beat Hubbard.
Yes.
We both took Heartland to beat Middle Ridge.
Yep.
We both took Maplewood to beat Brookfield.
Yes, sir.
We split on Salem Ursuline. If it happens, I took Salem. You took Ursuline. Yep. We both picked United to beat St. Thomas Aquinas. On the boys' side.
What St. Thomas Aquinas and what was it? JFK?
United.
I'm sorry. We were both on that one. I'm sorry. Yeah, both on United.
We both picked JFK to beat Champion.
Yes.
And we split Harding and Fitch. So now I took Harding, you took Fitch.
Yep, but that one is postponed.
It's postponed. But we both picked Wellsville.
Yep.
And we both picked Western Reserve boys.
Yes.
All right. So going to be a lot of
up to date with us. It's getting crazy out there as far as games getting canceled today, tomorrow. We'll try to filter it all through our YSN network. So stay tuned to our socials, stay tuned to our site, and we'll get you up to date as far as all the games going on in the area.
On that note, we will say goodbye for today. We're taking a 70-hour break. We'll be back Monday from 12 to 2. Hopefully we'll have a lot of basketball to talk about from Saturday, and then we'll talk about matchups for Monday as well. We thank you for tuning in, And Casual Sports Podcast coming up from 2 to 3, Power Hour from 3 to 4, and then no basketball tonight. Of course, everything has been canceled for tonight, but plenty of basketball still on the docket for tomorrow as of now.
Yes, sir. See you guys Monday.